everybody.
Hi.
Here we are with our first show for the brand new year, 2021.
Woohoo!
And we are excited. Today is an awesome day. We have some really nice specimens to show you. But I really want to let you know, 2020 is over. We all went through whatever we went through. We survived. And now we get to work towards being very positive in 2021. And that means ignoring all the crap that's going on around us and just being who we really are, being the light, so that we can hold the energy, we can hold the space, and we can assist everyone possible to do the same. And that's what we'd like to do here at the shop. You're more than welcome to come in and meet with us and do whatever we can do to assist you. And maybe you can bring some energy into the shop to assist others. There's many, many people that come to our shop that are my gosh, they're really working on themselves and working to assist other people. And it's totally awesome. We have the honor of these people coming to the shop and spending sometimes literally hours working with guests that have walked in that they just met for the first time. It's an awesome, awesome thing to see happen. Now, today, Trish and I talked about something really special, and I'm going to let her introduce it.
Okay, today we're going to talk about one of my all-time favorites, which is stellar beam calcite. So we have on the table 2, 4, 6, 7 specimens of stellar beam calcite. Now, stellar beam calcite is basically a dogtooth calcite, but in my opinion, it's so much more. Metaphysically, for the emotional part, it helps dispel negative thoughts, which is really good going from 20 into 21. Opens one to higher awareness. It's very powerful for stimulating the third eye and crown chakras, and they align these chakras with the higher etheric body, making possible an ascension into higher realms of consciousness. Now, I have a stellar beam calcite at home that I absolutely love and adore, and I do a lot of work with. It's also, calcite itself is very calming. These have that nice, rich golden color, which make them amazing. So I'm going to and we do have these all on a sale, so they're at a really good price. This is the smallest one that we have, but you'll notice with stellar beam calcite, you have terminations all over the place on both ends. Now, some of these have sphalerite or gray dolomite, and we think this is some type of garnet there as well. And I say we think because I'm not an expert. But when you put a light on it and everything, it sure looks and feels a lot like a garnet, but there is sphalerite and gray dolomite. But the terminations on these are incredible. And I know we're going to get some close-ups of them for later. That's one little guy. Then this one is really neat. You can see all the terminations. And a termination just means where it comes to a point, where it terminates, where it ends. And this guy is beautiful. You got some gray dolomite, some sphalerite. And look at this. Talk about mountaintops. Even just holding these, it's very calming. And I can just feel the energy come right up out through the crown. It's very awesome. Rodney's going to go for a big dog there.
So this particular piece really is amazing because I believe this is the gray dolomite if you can see it. And it seems to form almost in sheets or...
kind of like slate.
Kind of like slate, so it's thin layers. And in this particular one, this piece obviously broke off while the calcite for the stellar beam was forming, and you can actually see that it formed right around it. It's an amazing, amazing piece. The energy in these pieces is just totally awesome. And for those of you that really get what we're talking about, the one that Trish has at home has a being that lives in it, and they're called?
I don't remember.
Oh, come on.
I don't remember. But he lost a wing to a dragon, and he's always been very timid, and he stays in there, and he's been afraid of dragons. But in my house, I moved him, so he's around the fairies, so all my fairies assist to watch over him and protect him. But now I have many dragons at home as well. He's made friends with the dragons. So he's a lot more comfortable with them. But he'll bounce around. He can be a little bit of a jokester. But for the most part, he's a pretty friendly little guy. I can't remember what he's
Neither
called.
can I.
But he's
There
cool.
are we had two different artists actually draw him, and one was somebody that said, "Oh, I don't know how to draw," and the other one was actually an artist. And the interesting thing was they were at two different times. They don't know each other, and yet the basic being looked the same. So, and yes, he does play jokes.
We'll put a picture of it on there. I'll get a picture for JC to put on there. I'm going to show you another one. You can see all the gorgeous terminations on here. These pieces they're crazy awesome, and you don't see them very many places. They're really hard to come by.
They come from Tennessee, by the way.
Yeah.
There's a mine in Tennessee, and this is something coming out of that mine that they're not even after it. There's so little of it that's not what the mine is for. And yet, since they were finding this, the gentleman that we got it from convinced the mine owner to let him have some specimens. I'm sure he had to pay for them.
So the sphalerite, so we'll talk about the sphalerite for a minute. I have notes to make it easier. Sphalerite is a zinc ore, and its name pertains to the Greek word that means treacherous. This is because it looks a lot like galena, only it does not contain lead, and galena is very toxic.
Now, if you can see this is what she's referring to. And those of you that know what galena looks like, this looks like galena. And I thought it really was, but it's not.
And that disappointed a lot of the early miners. It's a significant zinc ore, which is usually found in hydrothermal veins. So where these formed, it must have been pretty hot. And then the gray dolomite, which you can see on here, all this beautiful druzy, it opens the heart and reminds one to appreciate the small things in mundane experiences. Something I think that most of us have learned to do since 2020. Dolomite is a stone of patience, constancy, and loyalty to one's path. It's an excellent healing stone for detoxification and the elimination of heavy minerals from the body.
We have a couple of friends that live in southern Utah, and she called up and asked for something really powerful for Michael for Christmas, and I think they decided it was anniversary. And so I let these speak to me, and it just so happened the one that I sent down there works for Michael perfectly. In fact, it is so powerful that no other crystals, it doesn't want any other crystals around it. It has allowed two copper pyramids to be around it. And both Diana and Michael tell us that it actually heats up the room. There's so much energy coming from this. I've seen pictures of it, and oh my gosh, there's so much energy even coming out of the picture.
So this piece, you can see all the gray druzy dolomite and the stellar beam. You can see all the terminations there and on both ends. And there's some more of the dolomite and sphalerite. And then you can see, it's just like a sparkly, twinkly mountain. You're just kind of waiting for the fairies and unicorns to come dancing around it.
But you can also
this is a way cool piece.
You can also see the...
Yeah, and this is why we think these could be garnets. Because of the coloring on them, they're just really a caramely red, or I don't know what you'd call it, an orangey red. They're just totally beautiful. And then there's this guy over here. This guy, it's like 3 stellar beams all together. So you have a triplet, and then they both have terminations. This one here, you can see terminations here all around this, and then on the back, you can see where it's just kind of enclosed itself onto this piece here, the sphalerite, the dolomite, and possibly garnet. These pieces are just magnificent. They have so much to offer, and they're great for your collection because they'll enhance any collection you have. They'll definitely speak up and let you know, oh, look at that little guy. And then I'm pretty sure JC will get pictures, but there's a little tiny guy right here. So he's pretty cool. He's just starting out. He's probably only 100,000 years old. And then this one here, I want to come back to this. On this one right here, there's just a little bit of fluorite, because sometimes fluorite will form with them. It's not unusual for calcite and fluorite to be together, but this combination is just amazing and powerful. Now, what we just...
That one piece that we have, the museum quality piece of fluorite that's in that cabinet.
Oh, yeah.
Came from this mine.
Yeah, it did. Okay, so we think that if these are garnets on here, that they could be hessonate garnets. And I use we think because there may be some of you out here that are totally geologists, rock hounds, and you know better than we do, and we're totally open to that information. But hessonite garnets will open intuition and metaphysical abilities. The healing of hessonite garnet, it may help to ameliorate disorders of the olfactory system. Hessonite garnet may also be used as a blood cleanser and to clear the environment of negative influences, which may be detrimental to achieving a healthy state of being. Sounds like we should spread hessonite garnet all over the planet. Just saying, that's just my
let's
thought.
See if we can get some that, I don't know, maybe we can find some somewhere where it's just hessonite garnet.
I have some. I have a bowl of it out there.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, of course we do.
Is that the red stuff that
Yeah,
has
those
all
are
the? Is that the red stuff that has all the geometric designs in it?
No.
What's that
I'll
stuff?
go get one. I'll be right back.
Okay, so while my beautiful wife, is busy finding a piece for us, we probably have a bowl full. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody out there. We really work at bringing interesting things to the shop, and we do our best to get as many of you to come to the shop and assist us with what we're doing. Okay, that wasn't what I was talking about.
These are the hessonite garnets.
Okay, those are tumbled hessonite garnets.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
These are cool. I don't have any rough hessonite.
Anyway.
These are cool. I'm just going to put them on the table because they're cool.
What I was saying, again, what's very important to us is that we're here to assist all of you that feel like we can, when we can. If it's meant to be, it is. And so what my particular goal is this year, I know it's January and I'm a little bit behind, but I'm working on it. I'm going to start teaching a class at least once a month, starting in February, probably towards the end of February, to be quite honest, so that I have time to get it ready. But I really want to learn more about the geology as well as the metaphysics of each and every stone and crystal that we have in our shop. And the thing of it is, I'm really good at telling you what it does for me. My wife can tell you what it does for her, but she also reads books, and I'm not really good at reading books. I get bored and I fall asleep. So I'm going to work on that issue as well so that I can become more aware of what the books say. But here's the thing. Everybody writes a book to make money, okay? And so part of what everybody says about a particular crystal or a particular type of rock is going to be the same in every book. And then they're going to tell you something different about it, so
based
you'll
on
buy
their experience.
On their experience or for whatever reason, so you'll buy their book. Okay? And there's some people out there that are considered to be, you know, oh my gosh, you have to have Melody's book, and oh my gosh, you have to have Robert Simmons' book. We actually have people that walk in our shop and they'll call something out and I'll say, what book did you get it from? And sometimes they actually have the book with them and sometimes they don't. It works better when they bring the book. If they're going to follow a book and come to my shop, please bring the book with you, because it makes it real simple for me to be able to open the book that you're using, okay, and open a different book and show you that there are other names for the same mineral, okay, whether it's a rock or a crystal.
There are some that
Robert
have...
Simmons definitely loves to give names to what he's working with.
Mm-hmm.
Melody actually gives names to what she's working with. We have a big encyclopedia of crystals as well.
Melodies.
it's Melodies again. So we have a couple of Melodies books and we have a couple of Robert's books, and we'll do our best to find the stuff that you're looking for. Just be aware, depending on who named it and whether they were able to brand it or not, then what that means is if they branded it and you want it under their name, you pay more for it, because that means I have to buy it through the proper channels to get it from, for example, and I'm not putting any good or bad on anybody, Robert Simmons. Dude has been around for years.
Well respected, very knowledgeable.
Extremely well respected within the industry, and that's why some people want the rocks and crystals that he talks about. Just know that if he branded it, it does cost a little more. If it's not branded, then I can probably get the same stuff under a different name at a different price point. So just, because we've had people come into the shop and get all kinds of bent out of shape because we try to explain to them what I'm explaining to you. Okay, it's kind of like, what's the sky look like today? Is it kind of gray, or is it blue-gray, or is it blue? It depends on your perspective. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm getting you all prepared, because as I get ready to teach classes, I don't want people calling me up and saying you're an idiot, because that's not what that's called. This is what it's called. Believe me, if I know that there's more than one name, I'll talk about there's more than one name. My wife already did it a few minutes ago. Stellar beam calcite belongs in the dogtooth calcite family. It's a specific type, okay? And some people will say, well, it's nothing more than a fancy dogtooth calcite. Okay, well, personally, in relation to most of the dogtooth calcite that I've seen, this is much more pretty to look at, and energetically, I feel
it's a lot more
quite
powerful.
Different, energetically speaking, the stellar beam calcite. And that little being, I wish I could remember what he's called, but sometimes they live in here, and you may be able to, because they usually don't show themselves or let you know they're in there until they find their home.
He's a glyph. That's what he is.
No, that's not what it is. It's not called a glyph. It's a sprinter or something like that. I don't know. We will look it up and get back with you on that one.
I'll get a picture.
Okay. And so anyway, so what we really want to do is just kick this year off in a very positive way, and that's why I'm
So starting with the crown.
So what I'm doing is working to clear up anybody's misconception over coming to my shop and saying, oh, you don't even know the name of the stuff. Well, if you're a geologist and you'd like to come in and help me name some stuff, and for instance, I'd love for a geologist to come in and tell me what this is, because it's not, it's not the, I never say it right. How'd she say it? Anyway, this stuff that looks like galena, okay? This stuff that we're talking about looks like garnets. I'd love to know for some. I know that we've had a few geologists come to the shop, and they're more than willing to share their knowledge with us. Anybody that's taken the time to get a degree in geology usually really likes rocks, okay? They may not necessarily be into the metaphysics of the rocks, but they love rocks. Now, I've also run into those that were taught the geology of rocks, and at the same time, they have gotten to the point, wow, you hear that? We just sold something on Etsy. That's what that cha-ching was on my phone. Anyway, so what I was saying, oh, yes, I'm sorry, I got squirrel. Anyway, you know that's an indicator that I got distracted, right? Just letting you know for those of you that don't. Yeah. Anyway, so what I'm finding is some of the geologists that do come in here have studied metaphysics as well. And they're more than happy to assist us in identifying some things that we're not 100% sure of. So please, my wife and I, again, are not geologists. We do our best to come up with the right name for the specimen, whether it's a crystal or a mineral or a rock, which some geologist is going to come in and tell me I just described things in the wrong way. Please do. I would much rather be correct. I'm learning, okay? I love crystals. I love the energy of crystals. I love rocks. I love the energy of rocks. When in reality, I believe a crystal is a different type of rock. And I think I read something in the last few days that says every rock has a crystalline structure to it. I don't know. Somebody can tell me. I promise that by the end of this year, we will all know more because I'm going to get to it. And I'm going to take the time because I want to learn. I want to be more in tune with the rocks and the crystals and the metaphysics. And this is just so important to me. We're here to assist people. I'm here to assist people. I've been told by my guides that I get to improve my abilities in those areas. Did you find him? Yeah. Well, we have a drawing of him here, but I don't think anybody put the name on this one. It's the other one. Has a name on it.
Yeah, I just turned my mic back on, but he's really a cute little being. But he's the being that actually lives inside my stellar beam calcite. He's a pretty incredible little guy.
The poor little guy, when we first got him, we had him in a display that had dragons on the top shelf, and he was under the dragons. We had no idea that he was living in fear. My wife and I love dragons. My wife, I love, there's so many things that we're expanding with, fairies and dragons and gnomes and so many different things to learn about. We've had some experiences with them. My wife has a very fairy energy. She's fun to be around. So many people love to come to the shop because of Trish. I wish I could say the same about me, but there are some people that actually like me.
Get off your pity pot.
No, I've always been so serious about everything, and Trish isn't always serious about everything. And I think people like that lightheartedness, and that's something I'm working on as well, as, being more, I don't even know how to tell a joke, I don't think.
So where do we go from here today? What would you like to do next?
I think what I'd like to talk about next is something that we're going to do between now and the 14th of February, through the 14th of February. We got some beautiful, beautiful rose quartz. We always carry A and AA rose quartz. Well, I don't know if this is legit or not, but I would call this last batch that we got Gemy quality, not gem quality. It's called Gemy quality. And what I've been taught that means is it's one step below being a gem. Now, I know you guys are going to say rose quartz is not a gem. You're right. I'm trying to explain.
It's a crystal.
I'm trying to explain the quality.
So Gemy means it is not quite what they would use to make jewelry out of, but it's a step below. In the crystal world, that's about the highest quality that you can get is a Gemy quality. It's like mouth-watering, make you salivate, so gorgeous,
it's so beautiful.
Energy.
It's just,
and
oh my gosh.
It's some Brazilian rose quartz, and plus we have lots of other rose quartz.
We have our regular A and AA rose quartz.
And what are we doing with this rose quartz?
We're going to offer a 12% discount on rose quartz above.
From now until Valentine's Day.
Anything above $50, we'll offer that 12% discount because some of this, especially the Gemy quality stuff, easily goes above $50. Now we have, for those of you that's outside your budget above $50, we have a bunch of pieces that are what, $10, $12, $15?
Yeah, we have a lot of good size like rose quartz hearts and double hearts that are absolutely magnificent. They're Madagascar rose quartz. And the cool thing about the Madagascar rose quartz is that's where lavender quartz comes from. So all the rose quartz has a little bit of a lavender hue. And the more you love on it, the more lavender it actually goes. So it's pretty amazing to work with. So we're going to do, like he said, we're going to do that because we thought rose quartz was better for, you know, a really great stone for the holidays. Rodney likes to tell people it's better than a dozen roses. It doesn't die.
Actually, this is what I do tell people, and it makes it sound much better than what she just said. So, if you're a person that you're buying the gift for understands rocks and crystals, everybody that I've talked to knows that giving somebody rose quartz, especially in a heart, is like giving them a dozen red roses that never wilt.
There, see? Much better.
And actually, here's a real quick story. So we also have double hearts. And so there's times when young gentlemen come in here, I say young because I'm 64, but I have people come in here, especially gentlemen, and they'll go, oh, my girlfriend, my fiance, my wife really knows all about this stuff, and I want to get her something special because whatever. One time I asked them, you know, where are you in your relationship? Do we want to talk one heart or do we want to talk two hearts? So I was talking to this young man, and we determined that he was going to, you know, it was something real. He just said to me, it's something I want to be very special for my lady. So we picked out this beautiful, beautiful double heart. And then about 6 weeks later, he came back in and he told me the following story. He got the whole family together, her family, his family. They all went out to dinner. She was expecting to be asked to marry him that night. So when he got down on one knee, she was sure that's what was going on, and he handed her a double heart. And she did not know what to say or do. It threw her for a loop. So he explained the double heart to her, that he was wanting their hearts to be together, two hearts to become one, because they're two individuals, but he wanted more. So as he was explaining this, his best friend, which became best man, walked behind him because she didn't know. He had his hands in front of him. And there's no ring in it. So she was not knowing, and neither did anybody else except the best man. He walked behind him. The guy put his hand out back, come around, and popped the question with the ring. Perfect. This woman will never forget that moment in her life that was so special because he took the time to talk about hearts and joining the two hearts together as one. Still being individuals, but growing together as a couple in life.
And that's why we keep a good supply of double hearts.
Yes, we do.
Perfect.
We love rose quartz.
All right, well, I get to get back out on the floor.
We're not done yet. I think we have about 3 minutes left.
Well, you can finish up. I get to get back out on the floor.
All right, let me get a chair.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all soon. I get to get out and take care of customers.
Okay, so what's next is, excuse me, JC is going to take a couple of minutes and she's going to do some close-ups of this stellar beam calcite, and she's going to do her best to show you the different parts of the specimens so that you can see them. If any of them speak to you, you can certainly call the shop. Now, to do that, this is how that works. The shop is called Treasures with an S. The middle word is N as in Nancy, and the third word is Creations with an S. Now, you can put those all in one word and put .com, and you can look us up on the internet. Or you can call us. Our phone number here at the shop is area code 801-679-1717. We are open Monday through Saturday, noon till 8 p.m. Sunday, noon to 6. There are times when we open a little early, like at the holiday season, and we've been known to stay late, especially we have sound baths and shamanic journeys, and I almost forgot. I'm so glad I got busy talking so I could remember. So, starting in February, we are offering trainings with Julius in our shop. Now, we've had an introductory class once with Julius. It was an introduction to Julius, and it was wonderful. In fact, we already knew that Trish and I and a couple of our friends were going to go to the training the following Friday. What I didn't know was 4 people from that training decided they wanted to go to the retreat, and we have other people that want to go to the retreat. So this is what's going on. Just so you don't misunderstand, the training is going to be the training. And there's always a retreat, but the training isn't just about getting you to go to a retreat. The training is offering you training. I don't know the exact words on how to explain the next training, but it will be Saturday, the 13th of February. We will open the shop at 9:30. We will close the shop and lock the front door at 10 a.m. because Trish and I want to go to the training as well. Now, it's supposed to be a 3-hour training, but I know that with questions and things like that, sometimes it might stretch to 4. So the shop will be closed this once a month that we're going to do this until 2 o'clock on Saturday. So, again, February the 13th. Okay, now you can go to expandwithjulius.com, expandwithjulius.com, and find out about the training because that's where you sign up. The training is $45, which is a totally awesome price for what we're doing. And on February 13th, the training is going to be about crystals that you could use as an individual as you're working through the first 6 levels of consciousness. It's our understanding that the 7th level of consciousness, you've ascended off the planet, and there's still a little bit more work to do to hit the full 7 levels. Okay, that is February the 13th. On March the 6th, we're going to do another training. That'll be the monthly training. Okay, Saturday, March the 6th, same thing, 9:30, open doors, 10 o'clock, close the doors until 2, okay? An intense training, super intense training on the 7 levels of consciousness. Now, Brad and Kasey and Julius are all coming up here for these trainings. And for those of you that don't know quite what Julius is the name for a collective of 49 beings currently living off this planet that have the ability to, since they've already been here, Kasey is the trans channel, meaning that her personality steps aside while somebody from this collective steps in to have the conversation. Okay? And so they are, oh my gosh. Kasey and Brad are totally awesome. We love them dearly. They have their own network. By the way, that's where this show is on. Their network. They own their own network. Awesome, huh? So, for those of you that may be practitioners of some sort, you may actually want to get with Brad and Kasey and find out if you can have a TV show. Believe me, this is totally affordable. Okay? And if it's in the energy of it doesn't have to be just metaphysics, higher consciousness. If it's anything in the realm of higher consciousness, you just check with Brad and Kasey, and usually you can work it out. Okay? There's just so many things going on. So I only know up through the end of March. Now, the last weekend in March, there's going to be a retreat at Windchime Farms, which is where Brad and Kasey hold their retreats. It's their property. Oh my gosh, what a property. Totally awesome. Kasey and Brad are a bird sanctuary, and what that means is that the birds live there for the rest of their lives. So there's a couple of bird places that are bird rescues, and then when they get exotic birds, because Brad and Kasey really know how to take care of them, and people don't want these birds to be mistreated. So a lot of times these bird rescues will get a hold of Brad and Kasey. And I do know that they're working on expanding the aviaries to hold even more birds there. And what's really cool is they have turkeys that walk around, the wild turkeys that walk around the property. As long as you don't rush up to them, they'll actually rush right by you sometimes. Brad and Kasey throw food out for them. And because of that, there are literally hundreds of wild birds in all the trees all over. So not only are there wind chimes in a lot of the trees, there's wild birds. And so this combination of the wind chimes, because the wind seems to be lightly blowing there quite often. And so you get the wind chimes, you get the birds chirping. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, what an experience. Trish and I love to go down there, and everyone that we've taken down there with us so far feels the same way. So, if you want to find out if this is for you, you want to go to expandwithjulius.com and meet Brad and Kasey online, if you will, and determine if this is in your path. Because it may not be in every path out there. I would be really surprised. I know that there's absolutely some people that it's not going to work for them. And if it doesn't resonate for you, please understand it's just not on your path. But for so many of us, it totally resonates. It's an advanced training. You can step in at any point and pick up and take off and just go, oh my gosh, crazy, and have a great time. Again, let me talk about my store. So my store is Treasures and Creations. We are located at 3419 South State Street. Everybody calls it Salt Lake City. Technically, it's South Salt Lake, but the whole county is Salt Lake County, so everybody just gives you an address. So it's 3419 South State Street in South Salt Lake, and our zip code is 84115. Again, the telephone number is 801-679-1717. So you can watch previous episodes and probably see the vinyl that was put on the windows so you all can find the place. We were here for more than a year, and people were still walking in not even knowing who we are. And thankfully, somebody mentioned these vinyls. And so what they look like is they look like crystals on the windows. It's awesome. Makes it easier to find us. So again, love you all. We want this to be. And I know that could be a challenge for some of you because there's a lot of things going on that could make it challenging. Please do your best to stay positive. We've learned, and I've learned this to be a big one, if you want to manifest anything, you have to have a clear intention to manifest it. If you want to really manifest it and make it work, you get to be in total gratitude for everything in your life. I know that sounds crazy because why would I be in gratitude for painful experiences? Because I know it may not sound too cool, but painful experiences tend to teach you the lesson faster, and you tend not to forget it. And believe me, some of my experiences, I wish, I can't say that. Now that I know what I know, I'm glad I had them, but believe me, before I got to the point where I am, where I know what I know, these things I was not pleased with a lot of them, but they were choices that I made in my life. So what we want to do is make choices to try to be positive in our life. Do everything we can to be grateful and let the universe provide as much positivity in our life as we can. So thank you for listening. I know that I went over my 30 minutes, so we're good. We love you all. We hope that many of you can come see us. We do ship all over the world, literally all over the world. New Zealand, Australia, England, France, Switzerland, and Sweden, in China. So, hey, if you see something, or just call the shop, we can always set up a time where we can do a live video with you and let you see something you might be looking for. Now, if you ask us for something we don't have, we may know other shops that have it, or if it's really exotic, we may have to ask you to hold on while we track it down and try to get it for you. So, please, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful month. May every one of you experience gratitude in your life, and let's make this as positive year as we possibly can. We love you. Have a great day.